trying to run in a pack, but 2 of them are a little bit behind, and we'll find out if they're actually able to catch up to that pack of 14.
But Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 car, he turned off the banking coming off of turn 2 down the hill and really got a run on the back straightaway.
Got a huge run coming off of that corner, but again, it's like he gets there and they hit a wall of air with the car in front of him and nowhere to go. The car just stalls out.
Still one more car out there and a gap there. Clear high behind him, clear high behind that 9 there. 51, 7, 33, 18, all back here, kind of spread out.
This is TJ Majors, his spotter we're listening to.
Still clear by 4, clear by 4. Outside, still rolling there. Those guys on the inside just kind of can't keep up. Inside, still inside. Still down there. On the line there. Enter door on the line. Still there, middle of the track.
So the pack continues to work their way around the 2.5-mile racetrack, and we were listening to TJ Majors talk to Dale Earnhardt Jr., and each driver and spotter have a different combination and a different agreement. Bob, what's going on with TJ and Dale?
Well, you hear TJ Majors up on top of the grandstands here, up on top of the towers, talking a lot like a play-by-play announcer. Maybe coming after your job, Rick, but he's doing that because it's a directive from Dale Earnhardt Jr. Listening to them last year, at one point in the race, Dale Earnhardt Jr. had said, listen, TJ, I want you on the mic all the time. I want to know where the cars are, where I am, who's all around me, who's gaining, who I'm pulling from. I want you to be like a play-by-play announcer, and that's what TJ does for Dale Earnhardt Jr. Now, Darrell Waltrip, we know all drivers are different, but that's what Dale Earnhardt Jr. likes to hear on the restrictor plate racetracks about everything that's going on around him.
Yeah, it's so intense driving the race car. Your focus has to be not only what's in front of you, but what's behind you, what's beside you in the car itself. So when you have another set of eyes, it can give you a little bit of a comfort knowing that somebody else is watching out for you as well, so you don't make that bad move, so you don't pull down in front of somebody. It just really, every driver's different. I'm just like Dale Jr. was. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. Give me lap times. Give me all the information you can. It makes my job easier.
I enjoyed listening into the radio, and back in 2006, we were doing programs where we would focus on one team and follow them throughout the entire race. And I had the opportunity to be a part of the 88 team, or Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s team. And what I learned there is the first time I figured out that tandem racing was going to be around for quite some time, because Dale Earnhardt Jr. had worked his way all the way to the back of the pack. He had Jamie McMurray behind him, and he said, okay, here's the situation. The 2 of us are going to hook up and go all the way to the front. And they talked spotter back and forth that. Well, Jamie McMurray had the better car at the time, and so he got in front of Dale Jr., and as he was pulling away, Dale Jr. said, you've got to tell him to lay a little bit on the brakes so that we don't disconnect. We'll go faster that way. And all of a sudden, it's history. We see drivers going 2 by 2 all the way to the front of the pack. That may be done now with this new car.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But here's what's kind of deceiving if you're sitting at home watching this. It looks pretty easy.
Yeah, it's not easy.
It looks really easy. They're just out there going around and around and around, just holding it wide open. By the way, 200 miles an hour.
200, right at 199.65 miles per hour for Trevor Bayne.
Put it in perspective. You're inches apart, like you see, at 200 miles an hour going around a 2.5-mile racetrack. I mean, this is hard work. It takes a lot of mental, not so much physical, but a lot of mental preparation to do this.
You know what I've noticed here now, I was just talking earlier about the bottom of the racetrack, but Mark Martin in the 55 with his teammate Clint Boyer right behind him and a host of others, over the last 2 to 3 laps, they've been working the top of the racetrack, a very organized line, and obviously because of how organized they are, you can see there, those 5 or 6 drivers on the bottom can't do anything with them.
You know which line will be the fastest?
The one with the most drivers?
The one with the fastest car in it. That's kind of how, I remember, think about Dale Jr. You know, we called him the Pied Piper for years. Whatever line he got in, that's the line everybody else got in. His dad was a lot the same way. because you know he's got a fast car. And they got that instinct. They know when to go to that high line. They know when to go to that bottom line. There's an instinct that goes into driving on a track like this.
Instinct, and is it Dale Earnhardt Jr. asking TJ Majors to tell him exactly what's going on all around, also helping him figure out if TJ says, hey, the outside line's moving, does Dale Jr. say, okay, I need to get in that outside line?
TJ is telling him what's happening right now.
Right now.
No, but listen, Dale Jr. is anticipating what's going to happen based on what TJ is telling him. So it's a marriage. He's telling me where everything is right at this moment, and I got to think about what I'm going to do as we go forward.
Boy, what I just saw right there coming off too, Carl Edwards, it had to be the work of his spotter as well. He jumped from the bottom line to the top line, and there had to be not much more than the length of his race car to get in that. But now I'm seeing the bottom get a little bit of organized, and you can see, here they come. They're starting to make up ground on that outside line.
Yeah, I don't think at Daytona, I've never really felt like one line was maybe better than the other. It just really did depend on who was in which line.
Bob Dillner.
Greg Biffle has climbed back in his race car. He's going to go back out in the draft. Now, I spoke to his crew chief, Matt Pusha, and I said, what did you fix?
Whoa,
he says, well,
trouble on the back.
Trouble on the back once again. The
All
9
the
of
cars.
Ambrose goes around, as does the 1. Jamie McMurray, our reigning champion. Brad Keselowski torn up. Regan Smith in the 51.
Both the
Kasey
Penske
Kahne's
cars.
involved.
24, we're done.
And Darrell, I don't know who it was, but somebody changed lines.
Yeah, I saw him
and
moving.
there wasn't a hole there.
I saw him moving back there. Somebody made a move, and there wasn't anywhere to go.
Joey Logano's in it. We're hearing Eric Almirola potentially in this as well. This pack was growing 15 to 16 cars, and most were involved in this.
But this is what? This is why. Okay, this is why we haven't been doing a lot of drafting. This is the fear you have. And why do we have that fear? Because we usually get a reality.
It could happen. It's always on the mind of the drivers and teams that this potentially could happen. Running at those speeds, just as you mentioned, DW, running at almost 200 miles an hour, inches apart. One person makes one little mistake, and this is the result.
What did I tell you when this session started? These guys get a little more comfortable. They get a little bit more aggressive. They start to make a little bit more move. They start trying to see where the car will fit into. Larry mentioned tight hole, but we got in there, and this is what you end up with.
Darrell, where do we normally see the big wreck at Daytona? Right there where it happened.
Coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, I'm still writing driver numbers down, and I'm already up to about 10 or 11.
Well, I think we said there were 19 cars in that pack, and I got to believe that about 15 of them were damaged.
And you know, old car, new car, whatever, that just simply was a misjudgment on some driver's part back there.
A lot of damaged vehicles making their way back into the garage. Regan Smith in the 51 makes the hard left turn. You see Jeff Gordon in the 24 team.
Yeah, Jeff's
pushing
got
that car in.
Fluid running out of his car.
We saw the 5 of Kasey Kahne also sliding through the grass. Marcus Ambrose out of his race car taking a look. Disappointment on the faces of all the drivers, as though, although they were elated to be able to go out and run with other cars, this is the result of a mistake. There's Kasey Kahne's number 5. They're going to hook that back up to the tow truck and bring it back into the garage. The 14 of Tony Stewart looks like it got through unscathed. Biffle walking back to his hauler. Looks like the Stewart Haas 2 cars, the 14 and the 39, not involved.
Larry and I are busy trying to exactly figure out what happened. We're going to
take a look here.
Take a look at this and see if we can get an idea. You're going to see the 9 car come to the left.
They're right in that area right there.
Yeah, the 9 car is going to come to the left.
The second car in line.
And he's going to get, I think, pushed or tapped from behind. Let's roll it here and see. You're going to see the 9, and here he goes, but right there he gets pushed into by
That's Carl Edwards.
Carl
That's the
Edwards, 99
car. Yeah.
And because Marcus Ambrose was second in line, everyone behind him after that happens either checking up or trying to figure out the line through, and that caught up almost everyone.
That was can we run that one right there? I think that told us more of a tale right there, what we just saw in that replay.
I think what I saw was when the 9 started to pull down, the 99 was going to go to the outside and fill the gap, and he clipped him as he goes by.
A little tighter view.
Wow, look at all these cars.
There's the 99. That could have been the 88 that was up there with Dale Jr.
I believe it was. They're all black primers for the most part.
It's hard to tell.
We're going to take another look at that wider view of what took place there on the backstretch.
Yeah.
Here it is. That is Dale Earnhardt Jr.
It is. And you see what happens. The 9 started to go to the inside, and Junior, I think, was going to go up the outside, and he clipped him in the right rear there and turned him. Yeah, it was Junior. Couldn't the 99 and the 88? Yep. They look exactly the same.
Car's getting caught up behind the 9 of Marcus Ambrose, sliding across the front.
I think what happened there is the 9 went down. Marcus went down to go to the inside, and Junior was going to run the outside and close the gap, and he just caught into the right rear of him.
Let's go to the garage and Matt Yoakum.
Rick, Eric Almirola has driven his wounded Ford back into the garage here. You've had a chance to look at the video. Walk us through what took place for you.
I had actually just gotten in the draft about 2 laps before that. We came in and made some adjustments on our Smithfield Ford Fusion, and it was a lot better. So I'm not sure. Marcos, I see my teammate there get hooked. I can't see who that was, but anyways, it's
looked like Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Yeah. It's just part of this kind of racing. We're out there in a big pack, and when something goes wrong at the front, we all end up in it. So maybe the bad luck's out of the way before we come back here for speed weeks. You know, you never want to tear up race cars. That's no fun. But, you know, the bright side is that the change we made was better, and hopefully we'll get this out of the way, and when we come back down here for speed weeks, we won't be in that big one.
Now, the 36 team had an issue this morning. They loaded up and went home. They only had one car here. What's your situation?
I don't know. We get a ride from Roush, so I know the 99 was in the wreck as well, and our 2 cars were in the wreck. So I don't know if we'll go home or if we'll wait for the other Roush teams to finish testing. So we'll just have to see.
All right, thanks, Eric. Let's go across the garage area to Bob Dillner.
Well, the champ, Brad Keselowski, checking out his Twitter feed after that incident. First of all, what did you see?
I didn't see anything. I saw cars, smoke and wrecking in front of me. I think I ran in the back of the 43, and somebody ran in the back of me, and it's just the way this deal is. So it's unfortunate, but sometimes you got to wreck them to learn. So,
what did you learn out there today with this new car in the draft?
Well, I think everyone's just the sport is rewinding. That's the important thing to say, because the sport advanced to where we got the 2-car tandem about 3 or 4 years ago. And there were certain things that you could do then that you could never do in the past without wrecking. Now the rules package has been changed back to where we were in the early 2000s, where I think the fans and everybody else enjoyed the racing a little better. And so as drivers, we have to rewind back to how we used to drive those cars. And this is how you do it. You learn and you make mistakes, and that's part of it. But, I might be the guy that makes that mistake the next time, so I can't really be mad about it. But it's unfortunate there's torn up cars, but let's be honest, it's January. We got another month and a half to build them right, and I'm sure nobody in the field here is going to race these cars anyway. So we'll build another one and have the Miller Lite Ford. It's the first time I said that. Back for the 500.
Hey, Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds, Rick Allen in the booth are noticing that you guys aren't pulled up to each other's back bumpers. Can you not do it, or is it just not the faster way?
Well, I think you can see from Dale you can do it, but we're all trying to learn the consequences, and nobody wants to be that guy. Unfortunately, somebody has to be that guy, and that's the way it is.
All right, Brad Keselowski, the champion. I want to look at his race car right here. You can see a significant amount of damage right here to the left rear quarter panel, in the front fender as well. And then if we swing over here to the right rear as well, you can see they have that 200-mile-an-hour duct tape already holding on the rear tailpiece and the rear quarter panel. But this car is toast. It's done. It's the only one that the 2-team has available to test down here. And you know what? They don't have another one in the shop that's completely done either. One in production, but it's still not done coming out of that shop there in North Carolina.
We're counting 10 cars involved in this, and we've got to remind you that there's testing now in the Sprint Cup Series. So This obviously a big situation here at Daytona, but how does it impact Charlotte and the test coming up? I mean, we've talked about very limited number of cars. You do something like this to a race car, how does that affect your year now?
Well, it's the workload. You know, they're not going to run these cars at Charlotte. They have their Charlotte cars, mile-and-a-half cars, so it's not anything like this car, I'm thinking. But it's the workload. This would have been a great car to run in the Unlimited. This would have been, yeah. But I was going to ask you, Larry, where was the 48 car in all that mess?
I can tell you where he was. He was about a half a lap behind them. Now you see him sitting in the garage area. Chad Knaus, I talked to him yesterday. I said, Chad, with this new body style, do you plan on doing any drafting? Because ever since we started back testing in January, Chad Knaus, Jimmy Johnson, they've never been in a draft. They, in fact, during speed weeks the last 2 or 3 years, they've never been in a draft, and there she sits, pristine and clean, and ready to do a few more single car runs.
His crew back home, they don't have to build another car now.